So I'm currently moving across the country and kind of a quote-unquote quarantine. So we're not used to all the luxuries and everything we have at the University of Oregon. Therefore, we're gonna go through one of the days we can actually execute here and still show and perform the exercises, but I am missing a few key pieces of equipment. One being a foam roller, but what we are gonna do is talk about us foam rolling quads, posterior lower leg compartment, hamstrings, glutes, upper back. That is going to give us a release in some of the musculature that we saw the compensation patterns occurring in. Next, we're going to go into a 90-90 breathing position. This is going to allow me to be able to stack the pelvic floor and diaphragm on top of each other within a posterior tilted position, allowing me to get good breath, breathing mechanics back in, and reposition the pelvis using the hamstring. So we're going to get here. Lay on our back, 90-90 position of the ankle, knee, hip. Breathe out to set the position. Slightly push to get the hips off the ground. 5 breath cycles, breathing in and out, holding the position, coming back out of it. All right. That position can get more complicated as you get better at it, but that is the base position. All right. From there on, we are going to go into our ankle and hip cars. So ankle cars being here, going into our full ranges of motion, taking the ankle all the way around and back. Each particular time you're looking to get into a bigger range of motion to be able to stress the outer ranges of motion that you have available within the FRC principles. Next, we're going to go into a hip car. Same principle, all fours position, locking everything down, bringing the hip all the way around in a slow and controlled fashion with the allowable range of motion that you have, and coming back down again. Trying to get a bigger circle every single time you go into it. We do not have a band, but what we would be doing is in a standing position, putting the band around the mid part of the foot, standing tall, making sure the rib cage and pelvis are stacked on top of each other, pulling one knee up, and then coming back down. This is going to get us stronger within our anterior capsule of our hip, moving forward from there. All right. Next, we're going to go into an overhead squat, but we're going to do this with our heels elevated. So again, starting here, you can always make this more complicated, loading it if you want to in the warm-up, but hands overhead, sitting straight down, coming back up. Sitting straight down, coming back up. Lastly, we are going to go into a single leg RDL. This is going to be able to get our acetabulum to rotate on top of a fixed femur and work on anything that could possibly limit us from a anterior weight shift or an asymmetric weight shift. So again, we're going to get here, reaching straight down, coming back up, reaching across, coming back up, reaching out, coming back up. Getting a good target of all 3 hamstrings, getting the acetabulum to rotate on top of a fixed femur. That will be our warm-up for the particular day. The next day, the next portion of it, for our strength portion, we are going to go into a heels elevated goblet squat. Again, we're going to have a load here. Fixing the position, holding right on top of us. Deep exhale to set the position. Sit straight down. Focus on the vertical displacement of the hips. Coming back up. Performing 3 to 5 reps of those based on the week that we're looking at getting into. Next, we're going to go into a single leg calf raise. Again, we will elevate our heel. You're able to hold on to something if you need the ability to, but elevating the heel is going to allow us to go into a greater range of motion and get a further stretch in those tissues that may be a little bit tight and limiting our ability to sit straight down. So again, elevating the heel, letting the heel drop all the way down, pushing all the way up, coming all the way back down. Again, pushing all the way up, coming right back down. We will perform those again as a superset, taking our 2-minute rest after that for 3 sets. After we completed 3 sets of both of those exercises, we're then going to go into our next portion. We're going to go into a single leg hip thrust, leg lowering, and a Copenhagen hold. So what we're going to do is our single leg hip thrust. You can load it if necessary, but our back is going to be on top of the bench. Bringing one knee up, driving down, up, make sure we got a straight line between knee, hip, and shoulder, coming back down. All right, Starting out, you may feel a little bit of cramping in the hamstring, so the ability to lift the toes off the ground and drive through the heel may alleviate that issue. Next, we're going to go into leg lowering, focusing on anterior portion. There's two ways you can make this easier or harder. Pull one knee in, dropping the leg down. Level 1, level 2, as you get good at it, you can either use a band to hold it, but if you're good at holding position, lock it down, coming back up. All right. Lastly, we're going to go into a Copenhagen hold to get our adductor strong within a long lever position. So again, you can start with your knee on top of the bench, but I'm going to start with my foot. Making sure everything is straight, bridging up, hold, and driving and holding this position, making sure I got a stacked position between foot, hip, and shoulder, and holding for the prescribed duration of the exercises.